Today I will be breaking down the 3 different types of fragrance houses you might hear people talking about so you know the difference. There are 3 types of fragrance houses: niche, designer and dupe. And today I will be helping you understand why some fragrances cost £30 and why others cost £300 and above. Let's get into it. And as you can see, I have 3 fragrance bottles in front of me, 2 of which are designer and 1 of which is a dupe. I'll be talking about these 2 separately and this one first. Let's get into it. First off, we have dupe houses, such as Dossier, Carrelage, Latuffa, French Avenue, Armaf and Riff. In front of me, I have 4 different dupe houses. We have Rayhan, we have Armaf, we have Latuffa and we have Carrelage. They all kind of have similar profiles in price-wise, whereas I can definitely say Latuffa is definitely the cheapest. When buying from dupe houses, you have to be very careful on what you actually know what something smells like, such as Rayhan Pacific Cora. This is an amazing scent profile, however it's only 90% similar as there's more mint in this than there is in Pacific Chill. Same goes with Latuffa Opulent Dubai. This loses the ooze that you find in God of Fire, however it turns it into this nice fresh fragrance that you wouldn't usually smell in God of Fire. And yet again, sometimes the dupes of popular fragrances may not smell similar at all. However, I've been quite lucky in buying my fragrances as these are all incredibly similar to the ones that I've already smelled. You also have to be really careful of another thing. Yes, the price is low, which means the ingredients they use might be cheap, which means your fragrance may not smell the most realistic. It may smell a bit synthetic. And then you have designer houses for fragrances, such as Emporio Armani, YSL, Jean Paul Gaultier, Prada and Valentino. The prices for these are all around the same price, however it just depends on the size of bottle that you get. Such as Prada might be a tad bit more expensive than Valentino, YSL and Emporio Armani. Designer fragrances are from, as I said, designer brands, such as YSL, Yves Saint Laurent, Jean Paul Gaultier, Prada and Valentino, who all have their own separate lines of clothing and accessories such as bags, trousers, shirts, all that kind of stuff, including glasses as well. Most designers are quite expensive. They go from £70 to at least £120. However, there are some which don't do this rule, such as Montblanc. Montblanc is a great example as they have cheaper fragrances despite being a designer company. However, some people could also say that this is in fact a dupe company because most of their fragrances are dupes of rather expensive ones such as Creed Aventus and Creed Aventus Absolute, which is what this is based off of. Next we have niche houses. Now as you can see, I don't have any bottles in front of me at the moment because currently I am not in possession or own any niche brands, sadly. Now what are niche brands? They're basically brands that specialise in creating high luxury fragrances, and they simply specialise in creating scents for people that have enough money to actually buy them. Some niche brands, such as Amouage, Xerjoff, Goldfield and Banks, PDM, some of their prices are quite reasonable, like £240. However, there are some which are worth a lot more, such as Amouage Outlands, which is £450, and a Xerjoff, which is roughly around £500. Now, with niche brands, you will see that most of their fragrances get duped, such as PDM Altair, which has a numerous amount of dupes. Now, there are some common misconceptions with Louis Vuitton. That is a designer brand, however, their fragrances are just so incredibly overpriced. As my friend Will, he has a Louis Vuitton, and he can definitely agree with me saying that they are overpriced, especially considering the longevity of this fragrance. Now, some designers do have private lines, which in this case, their prices for fragrances will definitely increase. However, that's not niche, it's just a private line. That is all for this video, and the next video I promise I will be doing Coral Fantasy by Valentino. Please do like and follow, comment if you want, it would really help me. See you in the next one.